Hi, bestie. I'm super excited. I haven't done a video in quite some time. I've kind of been in the Facebook group, and the reason I haven't is because I'm really trying to get this all down and really learn everything before I teach you, because that's just what I do. I research the snot out of a subject before I actually teach it. And I'm talking like 4,000 hours worth of research before I start even talking about it. And that's what I did for all of 2017. I was just knee deep in research and watching video after video after video and reading book after book after book. And just, I've even taken like special classes and courses now. And I know now enough to give you one video. Yay! So, but I thought what might help you most while I'm still continuing our journey, as I see myself more as a plant-based vegan activist more than particularly maybe a coach or a nutritional expert. I consider myself more of an activist just because I've seen what it has done for me personally in my life and those that I love. So what I want to show you today is through all of my research, like 4,000 hours, probably even more within the last year, for all of 2017, I found 6 resources that are absolute go-tos that I wish I knew about when I first started this journey, and that I hope you find to help you on your journey as you get started as well. So let's go through them. The very first one is Mike the Vegan. He is a YouTuber and a hilariously adorable one at that. What I love about him is he lays stuff out in layman's terms for somebody like me who just came from a complete like westernized, didn't even know what a vegetable looked like type diet. And he talks about studies and nutrition and debunks certain things that you may have heard of, like, for example, vegans don't get enough protein. He goes through all of that stuff in great detail from a scientific perspective. He doesn't have, like, he has strong opinions, but he has strong opinions based off of that science. He is absolutely probably my ultimate favorite YouTuber to watch about plant-based nutrition because he just lays it all out there and in quick spurts as well. So you never feel like you're wasting your time. Second one is Tanny Raw, is also a YouTuber, and I'll have all these links below the video, by the way. Tanny Raw is also one of my favorite YouTubers, specifically for motivation. I had a lot of anxiety. I was scared that I was going to miss something nutritionally or something. I was so freaked out at going a plant-based diet that I actually thought like something would happen to my brain, that maybe I wouldn't be able to think properly, because this is kind of the stereotypes fed to me about how much we need meat and dairy, and turns out we don't. But Tanny Raw was the motivation for me to get through the awful, horrible, hellish detox that is detox. And because I had a westernized diet for 35 years before I started this, I also had terrible, terrible stomach cramps while my body was getting used to vegetables and fruit. So Tanny Raw really just, she is fantastic one to just put on the background and watch at all times. I think she makes a video like every day, and I can't even keep up with her. She's fantastic. Definitely one to watch. The next one is Dr. Esselstyn. He is probably one of the founders of a plant-based diet, and he himself did studies for it. And I believe this is the doctor that for one of his studies, he needed patients for these studies, and the hospitals wouldn't even give him like quality patients because he was kind of at the lowest of the totem pole at the time, and they gave him patients that were about to die. Like, they didn't stand a chance in the hospital, so they sent them to him, and he was shocked himself that the plant-based diet not only helped them live longer, but actually reversed their diseases, and they all like lived and led awesome lives. So that's definitely one to look for. Look for Dr. Esselstyn's studies, and he also has some lectures and stuff as well. The next one is Dr. Greger. He makes me so happy. He will make you happy. Look for his lectures. Search Dr. Greger on YouTube. You will see them everywhere. He has a very distinct voice, that you will ultimately end up falling in love with. At first, you might be kind of like, wait, I don't know if I trust this, but eventually you're going to learn his voice as if he is your best friend. And every time you hear his voice in any lecture you might be seeing, because people reference him a lot, you're going to be like, that's Dr. Greger. I recognize the voice. He's awesome sauce, and he's funny too. The next resource is Forks Over Knives. Not just the movie, although the movie was fantastic as well. They have a magazine. They just recently put it out. I don't know if it's all sold out yet, because it's not really like subscription based. You buy one single like thing a year, like kind of like you would a book. And I got the most recent one, and like I can't go through it fast enough. There's just so much in there, recipes and information and inspiration. It's really awesome. And then Forks Over Knives, follow them on Instagram. If you're on Instagram at all, follow Forks Over Knives on Instagram. I love seeing their Instagram because they're always posting really yummy things that you can eat, so that, you know, inspires you to like not just give up and think that all you can have is lettuce. Although I love lettuce now. Okay, the next resource is Joel Furman. His books totally changed my brain's way of thinking. I've read several of his books now. Actually, I think I've read 2 of them, and they changed my life. They were absolutely fantastic. They talk about studies. They talk about a lot of the previous people that I mentioned and his own stuff. And he has his own system as well. I don't really follow it to a T. I don't follow anybody's system to a T, just because I'm trying to make this sustainable for life. And I am doing a pretty good job starting the year out. This last holiday season was definitely the best health-wise holiday season I've ever had. I couldn't believe that I didn't eat meat or dairy on Christmas or Thanksgiving. I kind of was like, whoa, I know I've changed now, because if you can make it through the holidays, I think you can make it through anything. So let me know if you have any questions in the live chat. And if you're all, how do I know when you go live? You can go to agirlnamedspinach.com/text me and enter your cell number in there, and I will text you each time before I go live, so that you know, and you can ask me questions if you want. Dia, you just ordered the magazine last week for Forks Over Knives. It's fantastic. My washer just made a sound. Aisha, vegetarian including, oh, you're quoting something. Vegetarian including vegan diets typically meet or exceed recommended protein intakes when caloric intakes are adequate. Absolutely. That's from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. I didn't say I can pronounce everything. I just said I can help you go plant-based. Diet Tanny's energy is infectious. Absolutely. I turn her on whenever I'm getting ready for the day. Aisha, I'm here. I've been plant-based for a year and lost 30 pounds without trying. Going to actually make an effort to lose 30 more this year. That's fantastic. That's what happened to me last year. I just lost so much weight. I'm not sure how much, because I broke up with my scale, which was the best thing that I ever did, because I actually had to become in tune with my body and know, like, okay, if I feel about this full, like my pants don't fit very good. Although if I feel that full on lettuce, I'm going to actually lose weight, because it's like negative calories. Fantastic. Oh, I actually also, while everybody's here, we're going to get off here in just 1 second, but I had my blood work done. Excuse me. The air is really dry. Like September, October of last year, and absolutely everything was like, my numbers have never been so good. And I even had better protein numbers than when I ate meat and dairy. Cat, interested, but a huge carnivore. How bad is the transition? Well, really, my purpose isn't even necessarily to get you off of meat or dairy, as awesome as that would be. I'm more interested in trying to get more plants into you, because the more plants you eat, the less of everything else you eat, if that makes sense. So, like my husband, Tom, he will never give up meat or dairy, but every morning he has like 2 gigantic green smoothies, which is equatable to one of those big bags of lettuce. So it's like that's getting in him every single day. So he feels so good, and a lot of the stuff that's been ailing him his whole life has kind of gone away. Julie, I tried doing the keto diet and my blood work went to crap. I officially know that raw is the best thing I ever did for myself. I already feel better and it's only been a week. It's absolutely true. I know for myself, and I tried the keto diet. I've tried every diet in the world. And finally, when I gave up and said, you know what? I have to eat plants. And finally, when I got used to the taste of plants and the texture and stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, like there are still certain things I'm getting used to because I've only been doing this since like March of 2017. January of 2017 was when I was like on my health journey, but March was when I found plant-based and finally understood and finally knew like, okay, I'm not gonna keel over and die if I don't have cheese, which I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard transition. I think the cheese was one of the hardest transitions for me. Carrie, looking forward to ditching the Christmas crud in my system after being good all year. Yes. Yeah, and when you feel like that, and Tanny Raw talks a lot about that, but when you feel like that on, Christmas evening comes and you just feel like crap, you're like, why did I do that? And it happens every single year. Hazel, how do you get B12? I personally just take a supplement just because that seems to be so controversial and oh my gosh, how do you get B12? So I take a supplement and it's also in fortified stuff. So it's in soy milk, it's in Chex cereal, Cheerios cereal. Most of our food has been fortified with B12 in it. So even just going vegan, like you don't necessarily want the refined stuff, but I purposefully give my kids like cold cereal in the morning with a ton of fruit in it just to get those fortified vitamins like B12 and stuff. Tom, I put hot dogs in my smoothies. You do not. Cat, dairy is not my friend anymore. My goal is not to reach a certain pant size, but to be as healthy as possible and increase energy. That's fantastic, Cat. And dairy, that's another thing that shocked me is like I gave up meat first, but then I learned after studying that dairy is way worse for us than meat. In fact, recent studies have come out saying that dairy is actually the reason that diabetes is coming about, not necessarily sugar. Cat, chili, and cheese included in the hot dog smoothie. Ugh. Carrie, if I don't eat mostly raw, I maintain it's weird. Yeah, I learned this new thing that actually shows a chart of if you fill up your tummy with this, this is how many calories versus this, versus this, versus this. And that helped my brain kind of understand like, oh, okay, so if I'm eating this, it's not as good as if I eat this or this or this type of thing. But yeah, anyway, that's for down the road. Aisha, I was hardcore paleo and into Atkins for years. I got sick from it and couldn't lose weight. I just went for it last January, and after a few weeks, I completely lost the cravings for cheese. It's fantastic. It's taken me 7 months. Oh, I still kind of crave cheese, but I don't eat it, but I still crave it. It's hard. Julie, thank God for nutritional yeast. Yeah, but it doesn't have the same texture. I'm not gonna lie. Like you can't think of things like I'll only do that if I can substitute the way the actual thing feels or tastes. You have to think like I'm giving that up now. And instead I'm going to have veggies, which is really hard mentally, but once you put your mind to it and make the decision, everything's easier. Diet, cheese was harder to let go for me than meat was. Absolutely. And if you watch some of Mike the Vegan's videos on cheese, he talks about how there's actual, like the same elements inside cocaine is inside cheese. So it's an addiction. It really is. Aisha, you don't even miss cheese. That's fantastic. Aisha, they add B12 supplements to animal feed, so we would have to take supplements as well. Yeah, just like, I don't see why it has to be so controversial. Take a multivitamin, take your B12. Carrie, cheese, the crack of the dairy industry. Absolutely. All right, that was so much fun hanging out with you, besties, today. Don't forget to go to a girlnamedspinach.com/text me if you want me to notify you of future videos. And I will also be sending out some awesome sauce emails with those resources and a bunch of other stuff that has really helped me. Coming up, I have quite an extensive list of everything that I want to share with you, just because after studying and going to class after class and after class, and watching video and movies and books and just so all last year, like I have a year's worth of stuff to share with you that I'm so excited about, and I weeded out a lot of the junk. So I can't wait to share it with you because I really want you to feel good. When you felt like crap your whole life and finally you feel good for the first time, you're like, oh, I wasn't supposed to feel like that, if that makes any sense. All right. Love you besties. Peace out, yo.